There we go.
Lovely. Yes. Hey, finally.
Hello. Welcome, Miss
Hi.
Went. Welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, let me take down the screen so you can see me.
Yeah.
I got some fancy stuff going on here. Here we go.
Yes. Hi.
How's it going?
Oh wow, it is going. It is going. I hope the weather is improving up there. We're getting a lot of your weather down here now. So it's been raining all day, off and on, a little bit cold, but which is what I had to experience all last week. So I hope things are getting a little bit better for you up there. A little bit.
No, it's still the same.
Yeah, it's still pouring, still flooding.
Right. Well, so
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of rain there, but I'll bring that up in one of our questions for you. But thank you again for logging on to the Swancentric Media Love and Revelations podcast. We You're our very first guest,
Yeah.
and I had such a wonderful
Yes.
experience last week, and I thought it was an incredible experience for me, almost a very spiritual experience, and I thought that it would be a really nice treat for our online audience and for Swany T. By the way, Swany T is her broadcast name. You know her as
Yeah.
Sephora. Uh,
I
Swany.
have I have I have like many names, so I tend to use one or the other whenever I I find that it's convenient. But I'm really excited to see you too because I've seen pictures of your wedding, so I wanted to say congratulations
Oh,
again face to face, and it looks beautiful, and you look radiant, both of you, really
Absolutely.
happy. And I have a lot of questions, of course. Uh,
But we're gonna
I
stick
have a
to the
lot of
agenda.
questions.
Well, I have
Yeah.
a ton. I have 100 questions, but we'll stick to our agenda for tonight, and we'll get through it. And if we have to bring you on for an encore, we'll do that.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to start if it's okay.
And
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 I
I
wanted
think
to know.
oh, just to start the evening off, salute.
Yeah.
Salute. Well, my first question was, how did you two meet? Very
All right. So
general, but important.
yeah, this is a funny one, kind of. So me and
Yeah.
my buddies we're all into like Game of Thrones, right? And the last season of Game of Thrones just ended, and they had a booze cruise in Long Beach. You know, it was Game of Thrones themed, and you just go on a boat for like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you just get some good drinks and hang out. So one of my buddies had canceled last minute, and my other buddy's like, "Oh, I know someone that watches Game of Thrones. You know, it's my coworker. Can I invite her?" I was like, "Yeah, we have the ticket. You know, we need to fill the ticket." And sure enough, he calls her last minute. I'll tell you my point of view. I mean, she was running a little late, but she was in the middle of like getting her nails done and everything. And I like to be on time. You know, I was like, I don't want to miss this boat. Anyway, she made it. She made it. We were stuck in traffic for like an hour to get to Long Beach, and yeah, we just hit it off from then. It was cool. It was a
Oh,
nice meeting. Yeah,
that's
sure.
yeah, that's so you both are Game of Thrones fans, like you.
Yeah,
yeah.
Do you still like to see it together or
I
yeah.
haven't seen it
Well, we
in a
haven't.
while.
yeah?
They have a new show, The House of the Dragon, and we're
Uh,
waiting on season 2 for that.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
And I
Very
did not
nice.
know that. This is I did not know that. So thank you for sharing. Now I know.
Uh,
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful.
I think you're gonna discover a lot of things.
I think so as well. So let's move.
Yeah.
Let's move right along. I think the second question is up to me. So I'll ask this question. Okay, so this is something that I really want to know, and I threw this in at the very last minute because this is something that I really want to know. Life in Northern California. What is the difference between basically the difference? Well, actually, the difference between SoCal and NorCal. we know that weather is a big difference, but what about food, lifestyle, and just people in general? What are or what are some of the things you had to get accustomed to living in Northern California?
I feel like to me, the food is very different. One, a lot of places here close very, very early. Um, so it's good for us to lose some weight. Um, but I personally, for me, I
Right.
feel like there's a lot of food that is too bland and there's not a lot of variety versus SoCal. There's just so many foods, boba shops, like little shops, like there's just so many variety and I don't know. I just miss the food, the nightlife. There's no nightlife here. Um,
Mhm.
People wise, I feel like we gotten a good amount of nice people. Like I feel like they're more friendly. You go somewhere, they say good morning and good afternoon. Obviously, there's still a lot of people that are, I feel like, socially awkward or like it's just not there. But um other than that, I feel like there's just a good vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely a good vibe up here.
Well, let me ask
Is
you
it
this.
because it's more of a small town? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does it feel like because of a small town
I feel
or?
like it's that. Um Mostly, I don't know,
Yeah,
we've gone places and so many people like are nice and they want to talk to you or tell you about a new
Right.
place or something.
yeah, and from my point of view, since I work like locally here, a lot of crews or a lot of construction people will come up to my job, and I'll help them out, or I'll meet them there, or if I go on a service call fixing equipment, I meet people and I see them around town too.
Right.
It's you know,
Yeah.
it's nice for them to remember you, like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you a touch of a personal touch. You actually know them on a first name basis.
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's always special. Like you feel like you're not just, another face or
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah. Oh,
definitely.
that's wonderful.
I was gonna ask my dad how he felt up here. How was his
Well,
trip up here?
Yeah.
you know what? We had a conversation right before the actual event, and I said a couple of things, but I want to retract some of those things that I said because um, my stance initially was that of standoffish. People were very standoffish. Where in down here in Southern California, we're opening doors. We're doing things like that. But I want to take that back because I've never felt so much family togetherness than the reception. People that I didn't know made me feel like family, so I have a totally different outlook and perspective on things now. Meeting your coworkers, your friends, the gentleman at the gun range, they they portrayed a totally different outlook, and it was a very warm, family oriented outlook. So I changed that. So I like it. I love it.
Wow.
I wouldn't mind moving up myself. So it was a
Nice.
great
That
experience.
sounds good. But speaking of wedding, you've been planning the wedding for quite a while, I imagine. So what was your special moment of your wedding day?
Great question.
Was there a special moment that you have where it was all special, obviously?
Besides seeing this beautiful lady walking down the aisle, um,
Yes.
just looking out at the crowd of people that we want a smaller, intimate wedding. We had about 40, 50 people, and just
Oh,
yeah, just looking at the crowd and just knowing that everyone's here for you, and a lot of mutual love.
yes,
So
yes.
just seeing that is like, wow, we got people up here that care about us, and
Yeah.
Especially,
People who,
especially for not knowing us that long. Um, like the love that they have for us and being so far away from home, like they just
mhm.
are always caring for us and always asking if we need anything. It's very, very loving.
yeah,
I
That's
agree.
beautiful. That's beautiful to hear that people generally showed care and warmth like that on your special day. That's wonderful. I wish I was there, but I saw the live stream. I saw the live stream,
For the May one.
and that was
And believe
yes,
me,
that was beautiful to see.
and it was very impromptu. It was something that wasn't planned. It was something very spur of the moment, and we didn't even know if we could pull it off. So I'm glad we were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But I want to transition to our next question because we have to get through it. You have to get to work, so I don't want to take up too much time. So what was your favorite part of planning the wedding together? Now I want to before you answer that, um, I didn't. I wanted to just put up a couple of images that really reflect on the planning process. So I'm going to put this image up right here. So this is this is the wedding ceremony itself. I mean, there's a wedding something happening here. I don't know exactly what you call it, but I assume this was all a part of the planning process, the walkthrough or the ceremony. So that was something that I'm assuming that was planned. Um, and this was a part of, I'm going to switch this over. This is the talk. I call it the talk. It was a very a very lengthy talk, but very profound, very profound. So this is a couple of images I wanted to put up. So I think that this I'm assuming this was part of the whole planning phase. Was this something that was planned out over a series of days, weeks to put this ceremony together?
The ceremony part, not really. We just did it one night. For the pastor's speech to us, that's all himself. The lasso was his grandma's idea. She
Oh,
she just gave it to us, because I guess that's part of like what she's used to.
Yeah.
It's more of a Catholic thing, actually. So the pastor had to do like some research on when to put it on for us and stuff.
wait a minute. Are
Yeah.
you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are revelations.
Yeah.
I did not.
Wow.
Wow.
I know that's why we were kind of surprised on how everything turned out, because honestly, we didn't really plan like lengthy. We were just like, okay, let's do this quick, like in 2 weeks type of thing. So I mean, that's why I felt like it was great, because we have the same taste, so everything was so easy, and that's why we didn't plan like months ahead, and
Okay.
everything's like local, and we had so many people helping us, so it was like pretty easy.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got to, you know what, Swanny, let me do this one. I have to ask him. This is a very impromptu question. It just came from out of nowhere. I have to ask this
Please
question.
do.
I don't mean to jump ahead, but this is a totally unscripted question. Your brother told me that you and him went out and you said, "Hey, I got to go make a quick run really quick." And he jumped in the car with you. This is Brandon. And you went to some area and picked up a package. Now, we all know what that package was. This package was the most delicious cookies I've ever had in my entire life. Where did those cookies come from? And I want more.
I know there's this home baker that does those cookies. I actually tried them out 2 times just to make sure if they're gonna be good for the wedding. But oh, her cookies are so good.
Yeah.
I love those.
Oh, I want to know
I
about those
know.
cookies. I like cookies.
Yeah.
And your brother had a stash on him. I think he had like two. And he was like, "I'm going to eat a cookie." I'm like, "Dude, you're going to really tease me with those cookies?" They were the softest, most delicious cookies I've ever had in my entire life.
I know.
Yeah.
Everyone loves them.
Nice.
And that lady, that home bacon, she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they were home baked cookies.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can link up and maybe you can give me their website or something. We got to order some more of those cookies and have some.
Yeah.
That was okay. Okay, so okay, Swany, you're up next. That was a little bit off the topic.
What? The cookies, that's gonna be difficult. But I have a question, and it's nowadays in the world of today, you know, with everything that's going on, you know, with social media and with AI and everything. Um, what's your advice for newlywed couple or people who are just starting out and thinking or getting married, or what would be your advice to keep you know, your path straight, to be, because I see that you did a religious wedding and it was beautiful, and just wanted to know what's your opinion on it.
Great question.
I feel like there's two big keys, and it's one which is what you hear a lot, and it's communication, and the second one is forgiveness. Communication is really important because that's how your partner knows what is either frustrating you or you don't like, because if you don't communicate that, your partner will never know like why that is getting you upset. And that's how you get a lot of buildup, and then boom, you erupt. But it's not your partner's fault because you didn't communicate that. So that's why I feel like communication is very important. And sometimes it's so easy that you forget because you either don't want to hurt their feelings, or you feel like you're
Right.
controlling or whatever it is. But I feel like communication, when you are speaking the truth and you're honest, then that's when everything goes smooth. The second one, forgiveness. In order for you to continue that relationship, you really need to forgive that person, because not only will it help you be at peace, it will just help you so much, because when you forgive that person, whatever they did, you never bring it up, and there's just no problem. So when you truly forgive that partner, then you're good for your
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
You're open to whatever life
Yeah.
brings, and yes, that's beautiful advice. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. I appreciate that. Thank
Yes.
you. Do you want to take the
Wonderful.
next one since I took one over top on top of you? You want to take the next one?
Um, okay, something very like random. Who is the better cook? Who cooks?
Um, we're pretty even. We both blunders.
Good.
Sometimes you gotta just call in the pizza. It doesn't always go
That's
as
right.
planned. Um,
Yeah.
I think Miriam has an edge over me. She's more uh,
Oh,
diverse, I guess, and different in cooking.
yeah.
I just do like the basic stuff, but it'll taste good. My dad taught me
Yeah.
some.
That's great. But you both cook for each other, you make dinners together.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. I
That's good.
yeah, um I know, Brandon, from from growing up, you had a very limited palate for certain foods, but I know you've opened up. You eat different foods. Do you cook? I mean, do you eat a lot of seafood now? Do you eat a lot of, are you eating everything now for the most part?
for the most part, for seafood, it's if I go catch the fish myself, I'll eat it. Um,
Miriam, you taking him sushi, to eat sushi? Am I correct?
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm so happy with him because yes, in the beginning, every time we would go out, he would either just get chicken tenders or
Yes.
just something so simple. And I would be like, what are you doing? Like, we came to this restaurant. Why would you get like the most simplest thing? So just him evolving and trying, not being so like,
I like to play it safe.
he does like to
Got
play
you.
safe.
right.
But now, like him taking chances, like he's never eaten Indian food before, and
Mhm.
I've taken him, and then now, just like yesterday, he was like, I want some Indian food," which you would have never thought
Oh,
like 3 years ago that he would
Yeah.
want Indian food.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious? This again, these are revelations. I would have never known that. Indian
so that
food.
would
Wow.
say that would be a new aspect in your life together, that you
Yeah,
discover new things, new flavors, new hobbies, maybe even
yeah,
that you share together.
Yeah.
definitely.
Well,
Ah,
let me
that's
ask you
great.
this. We
Beautiful.
have about 10 minutes left. And this is another question that I threw in earlier today. And the reason why I threw this question in is because, during the ceremony, the pastor indicated that you had to go through counseling. Do you recommend premarital counseling for young couples starting out?
Yeah, definitely. It's for us, it was more of a, the pastor, our pastor is great. Pastor Brownwell, he's the top
Oh,
dog, and he's awesome. I mean, you met him, he's great.
well, you know what? You mentioned him so many times over the past couple of years. You could not have described a better person. And I hope he watches this live stream. But just meeting him for the brief period of time that I did, absolutely spectacular person. If he was down here, I would go to church. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, he's very smart, very articulate, very charismatic, and he's very well focused. And and definitely, um, he left a lasting impression on me, believe it or not. And I
Right.
know, in that impression that when I say that sincerely, and now I know that you're in good hands.
Oh man.
Before it was, no, you're in good hands.
Right. Did that. But yeah, going back to the question, yeah, especially if, like, we'll just say a young couple. I mean, we kind of started living together before we started our religious journey, or our marital journey as well. But beforehand, if someone's like still, thinking about moving in and stuff, it's a perfect thing to get you going. So you don't go in too blindly, I guess, Um,
So you
Mhm.
co-signed living together first, right? You
yeah,
co-signed that, okay?
and like I said, the pastor's great. He brought us back to like the first marriage, Adam and Eve, and
Yes,
what their roles are. And there's every in the Bible where husband and wife gets brought up, and what it means to be husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
And
yes.
and it was like a good maybe 2 3 months. Every Friday we'll go and speak for about an hour. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Learning.
very nice. Okay, okay.
Interesting.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
20T?
Very good. Well, yeah, no, that's very sound advice. That's very something that maybe everyone should do, whether they're about to get married or not,
Yeah.
Maybe everybody should go and speak to someone, that they trust and that they can get, a spiritual a guidance. I myself was into the spiritual world, not in the church world, but a different place. But it's still there. It's still, whatever message you get is just to, um, is to accept God's creation.
Yeah.
And that's something that is very close to me. So I totally understand what you're saying. Yes, that's very close. Yeah.
So my
Um,
next question
but
is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, I just wanted to know, how did you pick the venue where you got married? Is
Uh,
it is it because it was the church that you belonged to, so that's where you wanted to do?
yeah, so we were very, at first it was very, we're not confused, but we're like, should we just do it fast and get married at a court? But after being here and just realizing that that is our first church together, like we've gone to church separately, but only when we're like kids. So this church is very meaningful to us, not only the people, but it's just something that we first experienced together. So it was very meaningful, like going somewhere where and you could look back and tell your kids like, oh, this is our first church where we
Mm-hmm.
found Jesus. And this is our pastor, like actually knowing the people that are
Yes.
getting us married.
So you feel connected to the place as well, not just the day, but the place and the people.
Yes.
And so that was an important choice for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me tag on to that. So we talked, that was the church. The reception venue, if you get picture in your mind a movie studio, it was the reception venue was something that was very nostalgic for me because I thought I was caught up in like Universal Studios backlot because that's how the little area is. There's a park out in the front. There are these what do you call them? Historical structures, historical businesses that by law cannot be tampered with. So all the structures are over 100 years old, I would assume, and it just looks like a very picturesque movie thing. Back to the Future, Universal Studios backlot type of setting, and I love that. I love that. How did you pick that venue?
That one was pretty easy because it's not wedding season up here, so a lot of places were closed. And when I emailed them, they were available. We actually saw another one before that one. We actually never went in person for that one, but looking at the pictures, like I love the view of the Arcada Plaza, and
Yes.
it just felt so cozy and very simple the way we wanted it. So we just honestly booked it like a month before the wedding, and then just a week before the wedding, because there's a restaurant right next to it.
Yes.
So we went there and we like glimpsed through the little venue section for the wedding, and I was like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes. Well, everything sounds very organic. Everything came out, like flowing
Yeah.
and just the way that you wanted, and that's great. And my next question would be, what are some dreams that you're excited about for the future as a couple?
I think before us getting pregnant and getting up here, we were traveling a lot. So I think what we're most excited is now traveling with a baby and seeing how that is, and mm, just showing them around the world. That I think that would be the cutest and most wonderful memory, is just showing them
Yes,
exploring the world with us.
together. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm not going to try to top that question. I'm not gonna ask any more questions. I'm gonna leave it at that because that's a really good question to close out the show on. But I do want to say a couple of things before we wrap up the show. It was an extreme pleasure to have you on our podcast as our guest. We are honored, and it was something that I'm glad that we did. You and I have to just say this from directly to my son. You have surprised me to be levels beyond I could ever imagine. You've become 10 times better than the person that I see myself as. You know what, I'm gonna say, I looked here. Give me a second here before we wrap up, and this picture right here. See this picture
Wow.
right here. This picture right here is I see a man that is just cool, too cool for school, just cool. And you sat there and you listened with extreme, like, I got this, and and me looking at that gives me chills. So you've been able to accomplish these wonderful things, and you're going to continue to accomplish many wonderful things in your young life. And the sky is the limit. And you have a beautiful family. Your family is growing now, and there's nothing out there that can stop you, hold you back, including your wife. You were truly meant for each other, and I'm glad that the universe worked out in your favor and have brought you two together. I could not be more proud of both of you. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. And I'm glad that you've been on the show. Maybe we can have you back again for some commentary. Maybe at your next event, you'll let me DJ. I was hoping that I could DJ. So this is just the beginning, and maybe the next time we have an event, Swany T will be with me, and we'll co-host, we'll DJ, and
Yeah.
we'll MC, and we'll all have a great time together.
All right,
Yes.
sounds good to me.
So on that note,
Wow. Thank you so much
thank
for
you so much.
coming. And it was a pleasure for me to see you guys together. And you're really a beautiful couple. I'm really happy.
Thank you.
I've got 9 o'clock on the money straight up, so we can't take much time. Swany has to. The business day is on
Yes,
Sunday
it's the
here.
morning here.
It's the business day.
Yes,
So we won't
we work on Sundays.
On that note, I'm gonna say so long, and I'm gonna close out the stream right now. And I appreciate everyone joining. Until next time.
Thank you for
Until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.